The year was 1753, and a fierce winter storm rattled the windows of an elegant house in South London. In an upstairs drawing room, a small group of distinguished